Today we're talking to all of our home buyers and homeowners about everyone's favorite subject, mold. So most buyers, when they're walking through a home and they have an inspection and they discover mold, a lot of them think it's a disaster warning and it's time to panic and the house is bad, and that is not always the case. It's actually not usually the case. Most houses in Florida have mold. So if you discover mold, it's important to investigate what type of mold it is, what's causing the mold. Most mold is manageable and treatable, and this is something that you have to deal with if you're going to own a home in Florida. So if you discover some mold in your house, typically AC units, they have moisture, they sweat. It means you need to do some moisture control in your environment. So in Florida, we always recommend that ACs are serviced at least twice a year. You are gonna have some condensation in there. You might need better filtration in the AC closet. And you also can use things like a DampRid, which is something we use in our house in particular, that'll soak up the moisture. We change it every 2 months or so, and that's been really helpful in keeping that control. Also, installing a UV light in your AC unit can also help reduce the production of mold. And it's gonna happen, it's gonna grow. We have an environment where we have 60% humidity in Florida. And so therefore it's just the perfect storm where mold is gonna find places to grow through dust particles and other things that are in the house. It's really just about maintenance and management of that type of mold. In Florida's humid environment, it's the perfect combination for mold to thrive. So if you have a storm or even a minor plumbing leak, or obviously your HVAC condensation, even everyday activities like showering or cooking is gonna create moisture in the air. And mold can grow within 24 to 48 hours of exposure to moisture. So smart maintenance is really the key to prevent mold in your house. And you're gonna have mold in Florida. Not all mold is bad. Some mold is not even dangerous. Certain types of surface mold, and we'll go through those in a minute, are not dangerous. They just need to be managed and maintained. So for this part of the video, we're gonna go over the 4 most common types of mold in Florida. I'm not even gonna attempt to pronounce them. This is why I'm not a scientist and I'm in real estate and a CPA. So let's put them up on the screen here. There's different types of mold. These are the 4 most common in Florida. They have different colors. Some are green, some are yellow. Some is black, doesn't mean that it's bad mold. If it's black mold, a lot of surface mold can be black, but these are the 4 most common types in Florida. So there is myths that I want to debunk. Myth number 1, all mold is dangerous. That is actually not true. If you find mold and you can maintain it, most mold is not dangerous in small quantities. It just needs to be maintained. Myth number 2, the bad black mold is always dangerous. That is not true. It depends on the level of mold that's in the house, whether it can be rectified and whether it can be contained. So obviously, if you have a house that is rampant with black mold, the bad kind, that is something that is going to be a concern, and you're probably not going to want to buy that house. However, just because there is that kind of mold in the house, if it is contained to a certain area and you can get rid of it, it's not going to be something that is going to be completely dangerous or a complete deal breaker in a home. Myth 3 is my favorite, and we have so many buyers that believe in this myth. All mold inside is a disaster. So that is absolutely not true. You can maintain, you can clean, you can make sure that the mold is taken out of the home and properly maintained. And just because you find mold does not mean it's a disaster. It doesn't mean it's time to panic. It means it's time to do further research, further assessment, figure out what type of mold it is, is the area contained, what is the cause or the root cause of the mold. Obviously, if there was a major roof leak or something else or something on the walls, that's going to be more serious than just a sweating AC that can be cleaned. So those are the type of things that you want to consider when you are thinking about mold. So we get a lot of questions of how can we keep the mold levels down in our house? Well, if you see a small spot of mold, you can clean it with gloves, use white vinegar, or you can use hydrogen peroxide. Stay away from bleach on porous surfaces. You can use a product called Miracle Mist. That's our preference that we use all the time to clean the mold. Also, if you spill something or, make sure you wipe it up within 24 hours, get right away would be even better, but make sure any spots that are wet, you're going to clean them up right away.
Check behind things, you know, sometimes behind areas that you maybe don't frequent a lot. Maybe there's some kind of, you know, water that might be sitting there. You don't want to leave water sitting for long periods of time because obviously with the moisture, that is going to create a situation where mold can grow.
Another thing to do is to ventilate areas well, especially bathrooms, kitchens, use exhaust fans. You know, all of those type of things are preventative for the moisture levels getting to a higher level. You want to try to monitor your moisture levels. Ideally, you want to be 50 to 60%. It's hard to get under that in Florida, but you want to monitor it. You don't want it to be exceeding those parameters. Obviously, if you have mold issues that are persistent, call a professional. Make sure you get mold tests, you know, check the house if it's something that you're, for some reason, keeps coming back and you're not able to manage it. You know, most mold is manageable, but there are situations where it may not be, and those are the situations that you need to call a professional. Whether you're buying or you already own, mold does not have to be scary. You can increase your ventilation, you can get things like humidifiers, you know, again, clean up spills, you know, make sure you're using your ventilation in the house properly. So it doesn't have to be something scary, just do smart maintenance and you can keep the mold away. So if you like this information, like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.